right, let's look at politics in KwaZulu-Natal now. We're about to speak to Sihle Zikalala, who resigned as Premier of the province last week. This after he failed to return to the helm of the party in KwaZulu-Natal as ANC Provincial Chair. He was ousted by MPL Siboniso Duma during the provincial elective conference in July. The party has chosen Finance MEC Nomusa Dube-Ncube as his successor. This means she is set to become the first woman Premier in the province when she is voted in. That is expected this week. Well, welcome to him, Sihle Zikalala, former KwaZulu-Natal Premier. Thank you for being with us. Can we start with your resignation? There have been some official statements that suggest otherwise, but were you pushed?
No, thank you and greetings to you. Maybe let's start by wishing all women of our country a happy Women's Day. This is the day of the struggle where women displayed their effort in pursuit of the struggle for liberation. Back to your question, I can say with no hesitation that I wasn't pushed at all. I had few engagements with the leadership of the ANC, and it was my view that it's time to allow the leadership to ensure that there is a synergy between government as well as the party. Not because there is a prescript or any position that says if you are not in the PEC, you cannot be a premier. Many people would have been premiers before without serving in organizational structures. But I felt it was necessary to ensure that alignment. But also there have been a number of things that have been said before. Among others is that some of us betrayed former President Zuma. That narrative has gone to polarize the society. So I've taken a view that let me not be a burden to the organization, but instead let me assist the organization by stepping by resigning from being a premier, so that the ANC will not have much time explaining these internal contradictions, but will spend more time on leading the people and ensuring service delivery to communities.
And I'd like to talk about that sentiment that you have betrayed the former president. But firstly, besides the problem of two centres of power, you and Mr. Duma come from different factions. You stand for very different things. So presumably it would have been very difficult to work together, in fact.
No, I don't believe so. Comrade Siboniso Duma comes from the ANC. He has been in the PEC before. The very same PEC that I was leading. So I don't believe that it would have been difficult for me to work with him. There is no bad blood between us, and we talk, and we've been even meeting one-on-one without any problem, just to look on issues. So it's not a question of whether one would have worked or not with Duma. He's a comrade and a comrade, and I think we would have worked very well with him.
You, however, are seen as an ally of President Cyril Ramaphosa. He is the leader of a group of candidates, the so-called Taliban slate, very loyal to former President Jacob Zuma. By all accounts, those candidates swept the floor at the provincial conference in July. Did you see that coming?
Well, I wouldn't want to say we saw it coming or not. But instead, I would prefer to congratulate the elected leadership and pledge our support to ensure that we work together to grow the ANC. Once the conference takes place in the ANC, we all unite behind the elected leadership. And the elected leadership is equally tasked to ensure that they embrace all people, even those they were contesting with, even those who would have not supported their elections. And once the conference is over, any groupings that would have been based on preference leading to the conference, those groupings need to disband so that we all work together as one organization.
What is your response to those claims? And you said there is this sentiment there that you betrayed the former president, Jacob Zuma?
Well, I think this was misinformation. I'm saying so because if you say it is impossible to say you support a former president and you don't support the current president. Former president is faced with certain challenges which requires those of us who understand and appreciate his role in the struggle to support. The current president is the president of the ANC and that of the country, and we all have to work with him in that context. For instance, today there was a commemoration of the 9th, the August Day. In that regard, the leadership that is in place was with the current president of the ANC. And you will not say they were there because they support a current president at the expense of former president. And then we want to demystify this myth that's set to install a view that if you support the former president, it means you are against the current president. Or if you are seen with the current president, it means you have betrayed the former president. That view is not correct and it's not helping the ANC.
What does Duma's ascendancy mean for KwaZulu-Natal and the ANC? You spoke quite candidly earlier this year about what it meant that the ANC had lost massive support in the local government elections. You said that people were preparing the obituary for the party, and that meant the party had to take a good look at itself. What does this mean for efforts of the ANC to stave off death?
I think the first task as spelled out by the recent provincial conference will be to ensure that they consolidate the unity of the ANC and use the remaining period between now and 2024 general elections to consolidate the support base of the African National Congress. It is a fact that both the last general elections and the last local government election saw the ANC declining. And we cannot continue with that trend where the electoral support keeps declining. We need to work hard to ensure that the electoral fortunes of the ANC are restored and we gain power again in 2014, we retain power.
But you said at the time some of the issues you said were factionalism, vote buying, gatekeeping, arrogance and aloofness. I mean, to the dismay of many, a lot of these ANC leadership battles don't seem to be about service delivery, about what any one leader could do for the people of South Africa, for ANC voters even, but rather it's about factionalism. And this was the case here, was it not?
Well, I wouldn't want to say it was the case here only, but I would say it has affected the ANC for many years. And we still need to do more to deal with the issue of factionalism. Factionalism undermines cohesion and it undermines the effectiveness of the organization. Factionalism also isolates cadres with experience, with political acumen who can contribute in taking the organization forward. And therefore, we need to deal with factionalism from the national level, provincial, in all regions and in our branches. We need to cement the unity of the movement, not for the sake of the unity per se, but for the sake of cementing unity and the strength of the movement so that we run and render service delivery to the people.
We know what the ANC has to do, but my question wasn't this a case of factionalism winning the day, of leaders being chosen because of the slate they're on, because of who they support, rather than anything about service delivery? And I mean, you spoke about vote buying. Was there vote buying this time around?
Well, I wouldn't want to make such allegations based on which I would not be able to prove whether there was vote buying or not. Factionalism has been in the ANC and affected the ANC. If you will look on what happened from 2007, the national conference, you will see that there have been elements of factionalism where some people will just be isolated. If they are not elected, they will be removed from government, they will be removed from the organization, and they will have no role to play. Factionalism is dangerous.
Yeah.
We must deal with it, not only because of the recent conference. The recent conference was divided, but it was a healthy conference where comrades were able to debate and discuss together.
But Mr.
So
Zikalala, may I pose my question again, and let me reframe it. You have a faction that's come to the fore that is loyal to former President Jacob Zuma, and it seemed like the PEC, when you were there in KwaZulu-Natal, was flip-flopping and shifting its position on where it stands with regards to the former president. Now you have a leader strongly aligned to the former president. The former president has been implicated in state capture. That is very clear across all the Zondo Commission reports. The new president is talking about revival, anti-corruption, changing the ANC. So now you have this tension. What does that mean for the ANC?
Firstly, it means that the ANC must attend to all issues that have affected the standing of the ANC in the society, including allegations on the state capture. They must be proven, they must be taken further into processes which have been outlined by the recommendations of the Commission. But secondly, we need to unite the ANC and to stop blaming or apportioning blames according to factionalism. It is not true that people who support former President Zuma are inherently corrupt. I think that needs to be addressed. It is not a correct view. But also, we should not say those who support the current president are innocent. We need to treat members of the ANC equal. If there is an allegation, that allegation needs to be investigated, irrespective of who is alleged to have conducted something wrong. We need to treat each other equally, and all of us, as the members of the society, must also be equal before the law.
All right, finally, we're running out of time. We appreciate your time tonight. Your successor is a woman. She will be the first premier, female premier of KwaZulu-Natal. What do you think of her, Ms. Dube-Ncube? And will she be able to lead with Mr. Duma holding the power as provincial chair of the ANC?
Comrade Nomusa Dube-Ncube is one of those who have been in the ANC for a long time. She has participated in structures of the ANC from the ground up until the provincial level. I have worked with her as well, right from the late 1990s in structures of the ANC. I'm fully confident that she is equal to the task, and she will be able, with the support of all of us in the ANC, she will be able to lead the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Obviously, he would have to work with the current leadership, and I believe they will work together with the current chair, Comrade Siboniso Duma, and the entire PEC.
All right, thank you, former KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala. Let's take a look at your sports with Ollie.